The new Halo remake is coming to PlayStation? Xbox is chalking up the prices of the things they sell? Again? Xbox laying off and shutting down another studio? And Steam just announced a Steam machine that has a chance of wiping out the console market as we know it? Xbox. There's no way out of this one. It's been obvious for a while now that Xbox is basically dead. The consoles don't sell, their games don't sell, and their reputation in the gaming community has decreased significantly for years now. What used to be the promising underdog of the gaming space is now just a laughingstock when it should have never been. You see, the original Xbox came out on November 15th, 2001 in America, launching at a weird but great time. The Dreamcast, Sega's last console in the market before fully becoming a third-party publisher, just discontinued early that year, leaving a huge gap in the console market that Xbox would swoop in to take. Now obviously, with Xbox being the newcomer, they weren't going to blow up in the gaming sphere anytime soon, but 24 million units sold for their first console isn't anything to scoff at. It beat out the GameCube in sales by like 3 million units, which is honestly impressive. Even if the GameCube was a failure during this time, the fact that the new guy was able to go head to head with it when Nintendo has been an established company for decades shows that the Xbox had a lot of promise. At least in the US, don't ask about their ventures in Japan. Now, I'm only comparing the Xbox and GameCube right now because the PlayStation 2 completely blitzed through both of them because, well, it's the PlayStation 2. But the next generation would change everything. After 2 whole generations of losing, Nintendo decided to drop the bomb that was the Wii into the market, and it ended up being the biggest thing ever to the point where I'm not even gonna mention it. While Sony was so tired of winning the past 2 generations that they decided they wanted to lose. You see, Sony got a little too cocky during this time, thinking that companies and fans would absolutely kiss the ground that they walk on and use their crazy expensive, hard to develop for console at the time, which they didn't. This left a perfect opportunity for Xbox to come in and absolutely dominate the gaming sphere during this time with the Xbox 360. It came out a whole year before the PS3, was way cheaper than the PS3, and was way easier to develop games for than the PS3. So obviously, no one was getting a PS3 and instead getting that new 360, including me. And so was everybody else. I mean, the Xbox was huge at this point. From being the complete underdog just a few years ago to having the gaming market in their hands is crazy just how big Xbox was. So big, in fact, that it basically won the console generation during this time, if you ignore the meme machine over there. However, contrary to popular belief, the 360 didn't win this generation. Yeah, pick up your jaw real quick. By the end of its life, the 360 sold over 84 million units, while the PS3 sold over 87 million? What happened? Xbox had it in the bag. How the hell did they end up fumbling? Well, 2 words: Red Ring of Death and the Kinect.
Say, or you will pay.
That's like 7 words. Shut the hell up, asshole. The Red Ring of Death was a big issue Xbox had early in its life, being an overheating issue that would cause 360s to just stop working. Anyone with the early Xbox probably got one at some point. Hell, even I got one, and I had to completely replace my 360. Xbox poured billions, yes, billions, into fixing this problem, meaning they couldn't even focus on making quality titles for the 360. Speaking of quality titles, Xbox during the latter half of its life started to focus heavy on the Kinect so they can cater to the casuals. Now, I fully understand what was going on here. They saw how Nintendo was capitalizing the fuck out of the casual market during this time and thought they could do the same. Like, yeah, the hardcore audience will keep your thing alive, no doubt, but the casuals will buy everything. Nintendo had people buying the Wii like it was groceries. But with the shifting focus of the Kinect, it caused them to care less about their actual exclusives. The PS3, on the other hand, was absolutely crushing it after the initial disappointment of the launch. They made the console cheaper and started focusing heavy on exclusive games. The Last of Us, Uncharted, Infamous, Killzones, not to mention continuing their old exclusives like God of War, Ratchet & Clank, and Gran Turismo. Sony was putting their foot on the gas during the latter half of the PS3's life, while Xbox was slowing down, meaning that they were able to catch up and soon enough surpass the Xbox. But hey, it's okay, we had slip-ups here and there. I bet the next generation Xbox could come back swinging and win the console wars as we know it, and oh my god, what is that?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
TV experience. TV and movies. TV. Xbox.
Watch TV. TV.
Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity called Xbox.
The 8th generation of consoles was absolutely terrible for Xbox, sustaining their reputation that can't be washed off, and the entire reason why Xbox as a company is failing even today. You probably already know the story. The Xbox One gets revealed, and instead of talking about their next-gen games, you know, the reason why anyone would buy a gaming console, they instead talk about TV for like hours on end. Because yes, as a consumer, I would buy a $500 big-ass black box in order to watch Wheel of Fortune instead of a $30 Roku. To add insult to injury, the Xbox One always had to be online, was bundled with the Kinect and had to always be on in order for the console to work, and they made game sharing harder because we are Xbox and we love money. And the cherry on top of this entire shit show, Don Matrix, the president of Microsoft at the time, basically told everybody that was hating and criticizing the new console at the time to go fuck themselves.
Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
This brain dead statement probably helped sell like 1 million units for the PS4 and fully solidified Xbox downfall from here on out. This was textbook definition of how to shoot yourself in the foot. Xbox was so close to having it all and somehow, some way decided to fail right when they needed to succeed the most. They tried their best to get into the good graces of the masses again by going back on all their really bad decisions, but it was too late. Xbox had its reputation massacred by the Xbox One, and since then they never fully recovered. PlayStation has been absolutely dominating the market ever since this generation, and Nintendo, well yeah, they took a huge fall from grace with the Wii U,
Hot button popcorn, that's a deal.
absolutely came back with the Switch, where they now stay dominant. Xbox, on the other hand, well, they really don't have anything. All their new systems don't sell compared to their competition. Their games don't sell, and no one really cares about what Xbox does nowadays. The only saving grace that Xbox has is Game Pass. Launched back in June 1st, 2017, Game Pass was honestly the greatest thing Xbox has launched since the 360. Hundreds of games in your disposal for the price of $10. That is a steal. Or at least it would be if they didn't chalk up the prices. A cool crisp $10 a month used to give you everything for Game Pass, and now $10 only gives you 50 plus games. That's half. Game Pass was perfectly fine in and of itself. All they needed to do was improve on it more and more, but somehow, some way, just like how Xbox has been doing with everything that they've done, they fuck it up. This is basically the theme of Xbox at this point. They make something great, and then later on they find a way to mess it up. How? I have no idea, but hey, that's just Xbox's charm. Xbox cannot compete with the other consoles anymore. This is obvious, so instead of competing with them, why not just integrate with them? Over the years now, they've been Segafying themselves and putting their previously exclusive games on other consoles. Gears of War, Forza, Hi-Fi Rush, and just recently the new Halo remake. Not only that, but Xbox is starting to become more of a service too, trying to integrate themselves in stuff like your PC, mobile device, and other consoles and whatnot. Cause if they can't get you to own an Xbox, they want Xbox to be in everything that you own. So it's official. With Xbox reviving themselves with what they're doing today, the console wars are officially gone. It's weird to think that our third pillar in the console wars is just dissolving like this, but it's honestly for the better. Xbox, the consoles, are dead. No one's really buying them anymore. They have no place in the market. But Xbox, the service, plus Game Studio, is alive, and just as long as Xbox doesn't fumble it somehow, they'll keep living. This new change will allow Xbox to have some type of success in the gaming sphere today. Now all they need to do is stop buying out companies and not doing anything with them, and stop laying off a whole bunch of people for funsies, and I think they'll be good. But that new Steam machine though, oh my god, if that shit is under $600, y'all niggas is cooked.
Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Okay, stop. Drop. Get your body shot. You gon' kill me, well, pussy boy, no you not. Baby, this the real me, is you gon' fuck me for a knot. I got real EMTs, I set them up for shop. Okay, stop. Drop. Get your body shot.